Yeah, after a while, after she came back, because she probably spent the whole, time with Tirana and Zarman and Tyseth just awkwardly just sitting down in the corner, not saying anything, just offering tea. And it'll just trudge her way back, swing by a very particular store, and then continue trudging her way back and noticing that Arthur's on the rooftop, and then slowly just making her way up there. Knocks on the door before she fully enters out of it, just to get his attention.
He's sitting there at the little wrought iron table, newspaper out, bullets laying across it, and a cigar.
Yeah, pretty sure you knew I was coming. Sits down right across from him. Puts down a bag. Really heavy, very distinct clinks. You also probably knew that this was gonna happen too. She takes out some beer and puts them in between them.
You always have got me, Honu.
Yep.
Pops the end of the beer cap off on the end of the table and clinks the glass against yours. And takes a quick drink.
Takes a quick drink too.
Oh man.
I'll just say holy shit. That was a lot. I made a lot of connections.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah.
I mean, some of that. Brave Albion.
Yeah, so you were kept in the dark for quite some time. This was a very enlightening experience for all of us. But also, starts nodding her head approvingly. Nice. I could see. Wiggles her eyebrows.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, that's fine. I don't know what I can talk about most of myself. Holy shit, I'm not even that... I swear I did not have anything before this. But yeah, most of the time I don't even know what I'm talking about. But you also want to know something else that's nice.
Takes a drink.
It's a very, pleasant, I'm definitely not thinking about anything mischievous look. I want to know how to shoot a rifle. Specifically, a fancy rifle. I will be on my best behavior.
He looks at you.
Yeah.
Alright. So yeah, I was married. I knew her in another timeline. She taught me most of the things I know, including how to shoot. Congratulations.
Oh, shit!
Insightful.
Ah, yeah. I knew, at least, half, I didn't know about the rifle part, but okay, I could see that. I apologize. I mean, I'm quite certain you didn't learn that from me, so... She's got a good eye. Can't blame her. But... awkwardly pats him on the back. But do you want to be a mentoring figure to a bunch of scrambling Griffin's Guard, at least in this dimension?
No, that was for real.
Yeah, actually, it was for real.
Oh, yeah, why not? I mean, it might help him live.
Yeah, I might. I mean, those some wild stuff from that time. We can at least put that chaos that we dealt with to
It'll be a
captivity.
significant advantage.
Yeah.
However, it's also a dangerous thing if it falls into the enemy's hands.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, if we're gonna outfit it, we shouldn't use them recklessly.
Oh, of course. That's why. I mean, number one, resources is a priority, but number two, yeah. We know that the enemy also has this capability of grabbing things displaced. So we keep what we know close.
Keep our equipment even closer.
Exactly.
Now, I'll teach y'all how to shoot, but it's on the condition that once you've learned how to use it, you're very responsible for it.
Yeah.
Don't go leaving the rifle anywhere more than an arm's reach away from anybody.
Yeah, and there would be very strict reprimands if it was. As well
All
as
it takes is losing one piece of it, and then the
Yeah.
next thing you know, the enemy's shooting us with the same thing.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the Yelamite army with laser rifles?
I guess that's
It
what
would be a
happened.
slaughter.
Yeah. You get the right mind, the right tool, and anything is possible at that point. So, you have a vetting process? See who be a good front? Because I was also thinking about holy water grenades. That could be something crude, but those who probably won't have that sense of responsibility at least have backup and capability at their hands.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Yes. Oh. Yeah. I mean, certain people go into different divisions because they're capable of handling different pressure, so I trust you in your judgment. We'll sort out who is capable with classified arms, and everybody else at least knows. I mean, there was, well, I guess the first round would have been like the automatic stuff, because, I mean, eventually that would come out sooner or later, I think.
Oh, Yellums are... It's been putting a lot of trouble on the Alvalian side.
Yeah.
It's arcane. I've been trying, but it's been pretty rough. He taps one of the bullets against the newspaper where he'd just been reading about the war on the front lines and how they recently lost one of the train stations in one of the nations south of Dalewood.
Yeah, she pops open another bottle and just glancing it over. At least if we have people under our supervision are able to disarm or take the Yelamite weapons, they can at least use them to the full capabilities. But yeah, Avale and their tendency to shy away from the brute force makes little fisticuffs motions. It's gonna bite them in their ass really quickly.
Yeah, they're always looking for the flashy, elegant win.
Just needs to be effective.
War is very rarely flashy or elegant.
Exactly.
It's brutal and it's long.
Yep. Battle of attrition, both mentally, physically, resources.
And a battle of attrition, I'd say that the Yellamites will win that. 9 times out of 10.
Exactly. It's all about where you grew up, that mentality forged in the fire. The aliens have a lot of spirit. I feel like it's more explosive. They can't sit and wait. They always need to make their presence known. It'll be used to advantage.
Speaking of all of alien spirit and making your presence known, he tilts his beer towards off to his right, where you can see beyond the banister and the top of the tree in Rosemarie's backyard, your massive Maelstrom Stadium dominating the horizon.
She looks over.
We've definitely gone really, really deep here, really fast. It's no surprise that people like Brave Al and asking for our help.
Yeah, we did.
This time, yeah, it happens to be the same thing we've been looking into. Stop there. The world has a lot of problems, and people are going to start asking us to help with them.
Mm-hmm.
Brave Albion's just the start of it.
Probably. Been making
Do you
plans.
really think that we're going to be able to help them all?
Been thinking. I'm always thinking about that stuff. I have things that can change at any moment. I make so many other plans. And help them as much as we can.
Yeah, well, what happens when they ask us to help with this war?
We will plan accordingly. I need to have more information before I start making any decisive plans. But
I guess that I, and probably a few other people, are gonna want to know, is war something we do?
Well, is the question. But we're in a secret war. They don't want to know. I think this is one of the ways they want to smoke us out. See what our metal is all about. And then they'll try to tear us down publicly in the shadows. But the one thing, at least our flashiness, is because we are a huge typhoon. That thunder is just taken away from the fact that our storm surge is what's gonna get you. We will apply that accordingly.
Spoken like an admiral.
Gives him a kind of a nod, but also just shifts her way. So she's looking behind her, and she's at perfect angle, so the Maelstrom tournament is like right over my shoulder, and then she turns back. Pretty photogenic, right? Pops her foot up
Yeah.
onto the bench as she's standing. Yeah. Is it too much? Pretty sure it's too much.
Shakes his head. Finishes his beer.
I mean, listen, if you were to ever have a statue in a Maelstrom tournament, what would it look like? What pose? Come on. You've had to have thought about that before.
I'm gonna go do inventory on these weapons.
Fine.
And leave.
Did that
To
hit
the roof closing behind him.
Did that hit a nerve?
Insight?
Yeah, it's like, oh! Insight. I'm gonna get my... And my little bird, it's about 25. Almost if I had advantage.
You think that he might have just not wanted to say.
Okay,
and walked out.
like, shit,
yeah.
fuck.
Mad that I hit a nerve, but like I'm not admitting to the fact that I've thought about that.
I know, I was like, fuck that. Okay.
You only know that because you know him.
Yeah.
His deception on that was very high. You beat it by 1 point.
Beautiful. My sleepy owl just gives the very stern nod. He has thought of this before. Ah, of course. And she'll just lay down on the roof for a bit before going inside.
Yeah. Love it.
Beautiful.
I love Arthur Honu talks.
Hell yeah.
They get into the deep shit.
Yeah.
But Arthur like doesn't ever talk like.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah, I remember one time, I think it was in 1983, Babette and Arthur were having like a little conversation, and there was like a pause right after it, and somebody said, "I love it when Babette and Arthur talk."
Yep.
The
Babette or
I think
Honu
it was-
and
I
Arthur
think it was
talk
my
like a whole
shot.
other...
It's
Yeah,
a
they're like a-
wholesomeness,
No, exactly.
and then you get the like the ones that you always want to watch at the family barbecues, just duking it out and insulting each other, and be like, "Oh, they love each other so much."
Two different ways of
Yep.
loving the interactions.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. Hanu and Arthur like talk about like the deep foreboding shit, and like, and then and Babette like have just like a really good banter that's just like endlessly entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Still loved how in sync you and I were as Babette and Arthur during the Griffin's Perch thing.
Yeah. It's like, I know you're doing imposter syndrome here, kid. It's like, what? You don't know me? I fucking sure do. I know. Yeah, fucking do, man. You're cookie cutter because that's how you are. You're a spy. Like, how would you know that? Right.
On another day, Babette would have. Is Babette have any plans to seek out Arthur to have a conversation, or he's not a type of person who rushes these things, alright? So he'd probably hit you about somewhere midweek unless you get to him earlier. He's always chilling on the roof at Rosemary's if he's now not training the Griffin's Guard.
I feel like she would probably also give it like a couple of days, and so they'd probably go to each other at the same time.
Alright, yeah, I like this. It's like he's Rosemary's, right? And you are just arriving at Rosemary's, and so the conversation would happen in Rosemary's kitchen.
Yeah.
Sees you as he's like walking down the like, "Oh, how's it going, our favorite spy?"
You know me. I actually
Do
wanted
I?
to... I actually talk to you about something.
Oh. Well. And walks past and goes into the kitchen, puts on a kettle.
But sits down at one of the chairs. And is now on edge after that comment that he made.
Watches as he standing in front of a little windowsill in front of like the stovetop. He lights a cigarette and he turns and he looks at you with his arms crossed and he says, "So, you too, huh? Man, brave Albion."
Well, that makes
Takes
things
a long
easier.
time. Yeah, I had a feeling that's what you wanted to get to.
I only found out who I was working for, I would say, was it like, what, a week or two before?
About a week.
Yeah, about a week before we got invited to the club.
Wow. Yeah, I found out, well, in the club.
I would have found out if I hadn't been proactive. They like their secrets.
Yeah, maybe more. Might solve my own.
Do tell.
A dark elf, Valerie.
Yes, you seem to have quite the reaction to her.
Yeah, well, it's someone you're married to in another dimension.
Congratulations on the wedding.
Yeah, well, I think she might have betrayed me.
Oh.
Honestly, it was kind of hectic. Didn't really get a lot of time to get just an arrow in my back.
You have confirmation that it was from her?
Yeah. I have confirmation. And he pulled his collar, a arrowhead hanging off of it. Her arrow.
And I assume that she was if good to have that stolen and you.
Yeah, well, she pretty much trained me in everything I know, so. At the time, I didn't really know who she was working for. I just trusted. He looks a little irritated at it. Takes a drag from his cigarette.
And Babette kind of looks at him with a look of, well, that makes a lot of sense. Like, you just make sense to me now.
Anyways, we had a job. It took us to Drakiesna and beyond. You know, Frederick came out of there, and he wasn't right in the head. I can definitely understand why. About what happened there is kind of a jumbled mess. There are bits and pieces that come back to me that I remember, but they're all mixed together, sometimes out of order, and I was certain. And as he kind of tucks that arrow back into his shirt, that she had betrayed me. But I didn't have a lot of time to put it together, and the paradoxes, my paradoxes, came back, and that's when they sent me here. So now I'm just wondering about whether or not we can even trust these people. I mean, I want to. But I don't know what that means.
Don't take this the wrong way, but maybe we can trust these people. Maybe it's her that we have to be careful of.
No, the paradox, no. There's nothing to not trust about these people. Everything about them is written on the surface. That's what I like about them.
It's just a matter of finding that surface to look upon.
And as the most reclusive person in this group, and even
I was talking about Brave Albion.
Oh. No, them? I don't know. They're the ones I'm worried about.
What if it's just your wife, for lack of a better term?
Yeah. Well, I think it's worth looking into. And I might have a place to start. Valerie Virkrova's not her name.
Oh.
When I knew her, she went by Ella. The Krovas must have another answer about where her actual origins are from.
That definitely is to start.
Or in Yellum, which we're with. So I don't think we'll be getting to question them anytime soon. But maybe we could keep our ear to the ground about anybody named Elastrei.
Of course. And I mean, if all else fails, changelings are welcome in Yellum.
Yeah, but are changelings with horns?
That is the question.
Not one I want to figure out the answer to anytime soon. The Dark Elves are a fairly rare bunch, which means that they happen to be a very close-knit community. If we can find some dark, maybe we can find some answers. And appear, but I think this thing might require delicate touch.
Well, you know me.
I'm starting to think. Tea kettle goes off, pours this cup, sits it down in front of you. I'll keep you updated. He places a hand on your shoulder and gives you a nod and walks out.
Babette leans back and takes a sip of the tea.
Tea and Avale, man. It's just intrigue. That's all it is. Intrigue tea. Damn it.